How can you complain about a Batista bomb?
I know kung fu.
Show me.
I'm the martial arts film freak, and I watched Master Z, Ip Man Legacy.
我和叶问闭门比武，我输了。我以为可以放下过去和功夫，但在心里根本没有放下过。请慢用。
这杯酒我请你喝的。
我上班不喝酒。
我说可以就可以。
Master Z stars Max Zhang, Michelle Yeoh, Jing Yu, and Dave Bautista, and was directed by legendary choreographer and director Yuan Wu Ping. Also, Tony Jaa's in it, not for very long, but he's in it. The film picks up after Ip Man 3, where Max Zhang, as this Master Z character, was sort of a anti-hero and rival Wing Chun practitioner who challenged Ip Man to an exhibition. Master Z lost the fight at the end of Ip Man 3, and is now in this film trying to let go of his past as a martial artist and just trying to lead a simple life as a businessman and a father, and of course, the life of any martial artist, the fight is always trying to catch up with you. This essentially just comes in the form of crime. The city that Master Z moves to, even though he's trying to live this nice, simple life with his son, is just full of dangerous people who are making it harder for the people living in this town. The characters are really what make this, for me, myself, watching this film. Dave Bautista is, I say, every villain in this, I think, is pretty complex, and that's why it's so enjoyable. Dave Bautista, when you first meet him, is extremely kind-hearted towards Max Zhang's son, and he seems to be this kind-hearted person that really wants the town to be okay. And when you have a character like Michelle Yeoh's character runs the family crime business. She's the head of all this crime that's going on, but her brother is, I guess, also there, and he is causing a lot of the trouble. And even though Michelle Yeoh is behind a lot of this crime, she herself believes she's doing it for the town. She thinks everything she does is going to benefit the people living around her. Of course, Michelle Yeoh is always amazing, whether she's playing in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, even a very small role in something like True Legend. She's great in. She's great in Star Trek. What is it called? Not Legacy. Star Trek Discovery is what she's in. She's good in that too. From what I hear, I haven't watched it. I don't have CBS All Access. I'm not paying for that. The only, I'd say, bad thing about some of the characters in this is, of course, you get the evil white people. While Michelle Yeoh and Dave Bautista are complex as villains, the evil white man is just simply that, evil. He is the evil white guy in this, is in charge of the police, which also means that he's in charge of the Chinese detectives. So every time the Chinese detectives stumble across, say, Max Zhang's character, and he happens to be at a crime scene, the white people just immediately say, arrest that man, and then they have to, because evil white man said so. One of the very interesting things that it does with the choreography of this film is, even though Max Zhang does fight at times, he strictly avoids using Wing Chun. I guess he believes that since he lost, he no longer has the right to use it. And it is cool to see that moment where he does decide, I need to use Wing Chun now. That sort of transformation in how he fights and his confidence level, it feels really nice when he actually does start using Wing Chun. That takes us directly into the fight scenes of this movie. They are phenomenal. Of course they are. When you have a cast like Michelle Yeoh, Jing Yu, Max Zhang, someone with the athleticism as Batista, and a director and choreographer and stunt coordinator like Yuan Wu-ping with his legendary status, you're guaranteed something of high quality. And you get it here. The only fight scene that I really did not care for was this odd, very random scene where Max Zhang is being chased after these criminals burn his house down, and he leads them up neon signs. While there is limited wire work within the fight scenes, they don't really do much to impede the good hand-to-hand, ground-based choreography. But then this scene just stands out. He's jumping, they're all jumping from neon sign to neon sign, and they're not floating. They're not Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style, like floating from sign to sign. They're just jumping. It's just the wire work is done poorly enough that you can just tell that he's being pulled or something. It's just not done very well, and it stands out. Why does he need to chase them up neon signs when earlier in the movie we saw him fight 6 guys at a time, and we know he can take every single one of them? This movie takes place within the world of the Ip Man films, and the Ip Man films, for the most part, have been pretty much based in reality in terms of the physics of how the world works. The most out-of-place moment is in Ip Man 2 on the table when Ip Man and Sammo Hung sort of like fly backwards and both land on the broken pieces of the table. That's the most outlandish thing that this series has done, and then this scene just sort of takes that like 2 and just turns it up to like an 8. It doesn't need to be there. It stands out. It's the worst part of the film, but thankfully it only lasts about, 3 minutes. Wu Jing is always a welcome sight. If you're not totally familiar with Wu Jing, he has a small part in Fatal Contact. He has a small part in Flashpoint, and I guess that also means that he plays 2 characters within the Ip Man universe, because he is in the first Ip Man movie. That is one of his larger roles, until he eventually did get a starring role as the main character in Wrath of Vajra. Very good movie. Please go check that one out. His fight scenes are all fantastic. Michelle Yeoh, of course, I lauded over Michelle Yeoh earlier. She is always fantastic. Every fight scene she's ever been in is of some sort of high quality. Dave Batista, like I said, very athletic man. He comes from the wrestling background. He gets choreography. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he gets to do a Batista bomb. How can you complain about a Batista bomb? Max Zhang does perfectly lead this film. He is a wonderful actor and an incredible martial artist, so all of his physical performances within this film are perfect. I really couldn't complain anything with his fight scenes. Like I said, every single fight scene in this film was fantastic, except for just that one neon sign. Why is that there? Tony Jaa is in this film, not very long. He's only in here for about 5 minutes. However, every time he is on screen, it is pretty welcome. His fight scenes, he has one with Max Zhang. Actually, I think he has 2 with Max Zhang, both fairly short, but they are very entertaining. One thing this movie did do way better than Paradox, though, is it did not highly promote Tony Jaa. You see, Tony Jaa is in Paradox and Master Z Ip Man Legacy about the same amount, about 5 minutes. And Paradox went and shoved his face on the box. Now sure, he's in the trailer for both Paradox and Master Z. I don't care that he's in the trailer for Master Z. It's, the movie doesn't make that much of a deal of it. But Paradox did, and Paradox said, hey, he's in this movie, you should watch it. And no, don't. It's not that good. This, however, is very good. Tony Jaa is great, Batista is great, Michelle Yeoh is great, Max Zhang is great, and Wu Jing is always freaking amazing. In the end, I'm going to give this film, I'm going to say about, how about we go 3.8 Batista bombs out of 5. I always love a good Batista bomb. What did you think of Master Z Ip Man Legacy? What is your favorite Michelle Yeoh film? Let's go with that. Comment down below your thoughts. Head over to martialjournal.com for articles on movie reviews, TV show reviews. I just did Wu Assassins. That'll be up Tuesday, August 27th. Yes, also there are articles on martial arts philosophies, workouts, and just sort of all questions that kind of, it's good to ponder some questions about martial arts. Comment, like I said, comment your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, and have a good day.